Catherine, just how far are European countries willing to go to prop up the airlines?
Well, in Europe, countries are being quite generous when it comes to their own airlines. Germany's economy minister said today that Berlin wants to make sure that the country's important companies can remain competitive after the crisis is over. And so, of course, this week we're looking at the negotiations between Germany's government and Lufthansa to see how much they're willing to give for that bailout fund. Now, Germany has said already that Lufthansa will not be allowed to fail, but the question is just how much they're willing to support the airline. And there have been some suggestions that they're willing to go up to 10 billion euros in rescue money. Now, that comes after, as you said, a 9.7 billion euro bailout fund was agreed on between France and the Netherlands for Air France-KLM. And France's economy minister, Bruno Le Maire, said after that deal was agreed that the 7 billion euro portion of that coming from the French side was necessary to save the national airline. Now, this makes quite a change from in the UK, which has a rather different attitude towards it. The UK government has said that it will only step in to save struggling airlines if as a really last resort. So, for instance, the government recently rejected Virgin Atlantic's request for a £500 million loan, saying that the company should instead seek investment elsewhere. Now, that is what Virgin has gone off to do. So Virgin Atlantic has actually hired an investment bank to help it try and find that external private funding. But Virgin Australia has already collapsed into administration. So the billionaire boss of the Virgin Group, Richard Branson, is clearly hoping to avoid the same fate for Virgin Atlantic and is looking to drum up investment through other means in order to raise capital for the company. And one of the options that they're looking at is selling off stakes that it has in other companies in order to raise that capital. And Branson even said that he would mortgage his own home and offer up his resort, luxury island resort in the Caribbean as collateral in order to raise up that money. Now, he did say that a while ago, and that hasn't actually happened yet. So I think he'd rather find investment through other means, if possible, to save the struggling airline.
To save Necker Island from getting in government hands. Now, what about, with airlines in trouble, plane makers are also feeling the heat. Airbus, for one, says it's struggling.
That's absolutely right. The CEO of Airbus, Guillaume Faury, sent a letter to all staff last week saying that the company was bleeding cash at an unprecedented speed and warned that the survival of the company was at stake. He also told the 133,000 employees that deeper job cuts were potentially on the horizon. Now, Airbus has already taken advantage of the French government's unemployment scheme. There are about 3,000 workers who are currently furloughed from their jobs, but the company's warning that those measures aren't enough and they're probably going to have to resort to more far-reaching measures. The company has announced that it's lost about a third of its business in just a matter of weeks. And of course, this isn't surprising. The COVID-19 crisis has really taken its toll on the aviation industry, from plane makers to airlines. There are a number of airlines that have already gone into administration, and some others that are certainly heading that way. So, of course, airlines are reluctant to place any orders for the years to come, for 2021 even, as they don't really have much of a visibility on their cash flow and when this crisis could even be over, and whether it will be over in the next few months or whether they're going to have to be looking for more longer term in the future.